Welcome to the Family Photography Marketing Podcast, where we dive into the world of marketing and help you take your business to the next level. I'm your host, Fiona, a marketing expert with 10 years of experience in the family photography industry, and in each episode of this podcast, I'll be sharing my insights and strategies for successful marketing to help you navigate the ever-changing landscape of digital and traditional marketing techniques. So whether you're just starting out or looking to fine-tune your marketing approach, this podcast has something for you. So join me and let's get started. Hi guys, so today we are going to be doing 2 marketing reviews. In my stories on Instagram, I asked if there was any photographers who were open to me looking through everything they have online to just see if there's any advice I could give or any feedback. So there was a lot of interest, so I'm just going to go through as many as I can while still giving actionable advice and not just skimming. So the first one is a Las Vegas family photographer named Myrna Loy Photography. So one thing, everyone who submitted had one assignment, and that was to describe their ideal session. And if you're a longtime listener, you know that I much more want the focus to be on your ideal session and your ideal art, rather than focusing on your ideal client, because focusing on your ideal session puts you in the mindset to attract others, and focusing on the ideal client puts you in the position to feel like you need to chase people. So that's why I formed the question the way I did. So this is what she had to say. She said, an ideal session is when the family comes with no expectations, ready to truly be with one another in a location that is special to them, partly cloudy skies. Being a Las Vegas photographer, that makes sense. I'm sure she has to deal with a lot of sun. It's a breeze and just enough to provide some movement. There is a breeze just enough to provide some movement in the images to capture their individual personalities, unique to them connections between family members. A lot of joy, a little comforting, lots of love, and a dash of goofiness. So one thing that I hope is really clarifying for everyone is that when you write this information down, you can also see how you could create inspirational, educational, and informative content just from these sentences. So just picking out things that she said in here, it's so easy to think how you could build out a brand based on what she says. So the first thing I did in these is a 3-scroll Instagram review, which means that I'm just scrolling my finger 3 times because I'm not going to go to the depths of Instagram. I'm trying to act like I'm a client who also wants what this person is offering. So at the top, the search terms are good. So as we know, I think I talked about this in a past episode, Instagram has this year switched to have a more heavy focus on SEO, and this real estate is important. So having your main SEO focused keyword in your name is really important. People think it's not, but it is. And in the second review that I do, I'll show you an example of why it is so important. So her bio is really fun, but it could be more about this paragraph that she said about what her ideal session is. So it could be about her client results and less about her per se. Again, only because this Instagram real estate is really valuable. So if she said all these things and reading through that ideal session paragraph, I'm either going to be drawn in or turned off. And that is what we want. We want to be really clear. So you can lean on this ideal session paragraph if you write one for your own business, and then put that copy everywhere you can. So the highlights she has there are helpful. I know that people think that nobody looks at highlights, but they do. If I'm a client and I'm going to give you money, I'm looking for any easy to digest content that you have available for me. And if you don't have any stories posted that day, or you have one story and it's not really relevant to me, but I want to get to know your business and I want to build trust with you, I may go to your highlights. So it's important that whatever you have in the Instagram highlights are links that actually work, they're actually functioning, they're what you're trying to book right now, and that you keep them up to date if you are going to utilize them. The other thing that's not utilized on this page that I think could be really valuable would be pinned posts. I think that since Instagram is sort of like a moving content wheel, it's really helpful to have something at the top that's an overview. So the two I love the most are an about me that's pinned and a what I'm offering this year that's pinned. Just because from the client side, it's so nice to get the exact information that you're looking for if that's what you want to know. So the current top post is a Black Friday deals post for this particular photographer. So that could easily be refurbished into 2024 offerings post that is pinned at the top. So whoever arrives at the page, they're like, what is this person booking? When do they work? How do they best work? Again, this ideal session copy could be infiltrated into that caption and it could be pinned there at the top. Okay, so this person is excellent at writing really good storytelling captions. And you know where else these stories could be told? In voiceover reels. So if you're someone who loves to tell stories, which I can tell that this person does, and they have a knack for it, their stories are engaging. So you can get a little bit of a variety of content if you're not sure how to use a reel, or you feel, and this person does use reels, so I'm not saying that they don't, but voiceover reels are really powerful. If you have a really good caption that's storytelling that you've written, that's a really good way to incorporate that content that ends up in your caption that can often be underutilized because not enough people are seeing those beautiful words. So she is utilizing reels in a great way. Like she has a styling reel on there that any client is going to love to watch. The views on it are low, which is okay. That's how it goes sometimes. One thing that you could do with these reels is to make a styling series, and you could release one series every single season. So I'm sure for Las Vegas, especially because you have of a wide variety of temperatures, or maybe it's all the same, but I've only been to Las Vegas once. You could help bring in an educational element through styling by having almost like a storytelling series with reels and styling for your location, depending on what season it is. That's just so helpful, and any potential client is going to want to watch that. The editing reels are also really fun. Again, you could make it a little series: spring edits, summer edits, fall edits. If anyone is spending time making short form video, it's worthwhile to then make that last longer in a highlight series. So if you're doing style reels, put them all in a highlight. You just share them to your stories, and then you save that story, and then someone can go through and get a bunch of intel about how you give styling advice, or how you like to edit, or whatever it is that you're deciding is helpful content for your potential client. The overall vibe of this 3 scroll on Instagram is that the work is very consistent. As a potential client, after 3 scrolls, I would feel confident that the work that I would get from the photographer would be the work that I would see on our page, because I don't see any images that break trust. So sometimes family photographers can get real insecure about, let's say, their lack of creativity. So they often do something that's way out of the norm for their client brand. And again, I know this is controversial, and I know there are photographers that say you shouldn't be bound to any type of photography and you should be able to do what you want to do. There's artistic photography, and then there's business photography. And if you're trying to make a business, you do need consistency until you reach the point where you have too many clients you don't even know what to do with. And at that point, be as creative and free and whatever you want to do. Until you're known for your artistry and you have overall trust, it really helps to be consistent. So when I'm leaving Instagram, the top link is the client website. You're feeling my papers rustling a bit here. The second link is the booking form. The third link is an email list sign up. The fourth link is recent work. The fifth link is a booking link, which I love for online booking, but I would move this up. I think some of these links might be a little bit repetitive. The sixth link is favorite stores for styling. Again, if you have that content, it could be incorporated into a style highlight or a pin style post at the top of the page. CRM discount code, that's I think mainly for photographers who also want to use her CRM. So you might just want to consolidate links. Says me, the person who has a ton of links in her bio, but I mean, as a client, you might just want to make it as simple as possible to get where they want to go. So you could have booking page on your email list, you could have booking page on your link list, which then sends them to a page on your website that has all the booking information and a call to action to book, so that they're not going directly to the booking page, they kind of get like a feel for your website and a little bit more about you. That could be one option if you want to combine some of those links. So on the website, there's one word that throws me initially, and that's the word journal. And I think it's like a word for blog or whatever, but I would just switch it to be as clear as possible. Recent sessions or blog, just because journal makes me think if I'm going to click in there, I'm going to go into like something where you've written a bunch of stuff. So I always try to remember to be as clear as possible. So after a couple seconds of being on this page, which is very beautiful, it's designed very well, the colors are great. There's obviously been a lot of effort put into this page, but the email list pop-up interrupts my scroll within the first couple seconds. And if this photographer gets a lot of subscribers, keep it. If not, the pop-up forces me to change the position of my hand to get out of it. And so the potential client could easily just swipe up and completely out of your site, as opposed to taking the millimeter of muscle movement it would take to click that X box. So my thing is, do not have a scroll interrupting pop-up unless it's really converting for you. So you want to look at those logistics, because I was like feeling very excited about the homepage scroll of this website, but then the email list sign up interrupted my scroll. So it's not, and as a potential client, maybe I would sign up for your email list, but I just would really be careful about whether or not that's helpful or hurtful. And you can also test. So you could spend 3 months without a pop-up and 3 months with, and just see if you notice a difference. So the copy on the website is very well done. As we said, this person's a wonderful writer. They're a great storyteller. The homepage has a really nice scrollable feel. So I love this. So you have to think about consumer behavior. A consumer is going to probably be on their phone. They're going to click over and they're going to want to scroll and scroll and scroll. And that's how people like to get their information. The homepage has a snippet of the overall brand, which I love. One thing that could be here is a short form video. If it's an about me or a last year review or something simple, it could draw more people into that space and keep them on the homepage longer, which is really, really helpful for SEO. So then there's an about me snippet, which again is more about the photographer than the client. So I would play with the copy a little bit. When I click on the about me, I want to see how you're going to help me. And I'd also love to see a call to action along with some images of recent sessions, because this homepage is very, very valuable real estate. Everyone's going to check it before they book. So how can you emotionally draw them in? So it's more like, hi, this is how I will help you. Do you want this help right now? Sweet, you can book online right here. That's the overall vibe of the about me. Plus scattered in there is obviously pictures of you, also some of your best work. So we're drawing them even more emotionally into a page where they know, we know as a photographer, if their eyes are on that page, they're interested in us. Same thing goes for the pricing page. If there's eyes on the pricing page, that person is pretty invested. And overall, I'd say the pricing page is the most neglected image page that I see on photographer websites. You want to keep pushing them emotionally towards your work. You want to keep building trust on these pages. And the way you build trust is adding reviews on that page, adding images, adding anything that's going to say, for them to say, oh, I really, really want to get on her calendar. These pages are for that person who's on the site to fall even more in love with you and your images. So there's an online booking available through that Instagram link, but then it's sort of missing throughout the website. And I feel like this online booking call to action could be placed pretty much on every page. And the reason for that, I always caution with online booking, you need to have a few things in place, which this photographer does. Her work is very consistent. The website is helpful and educational. And there are impulse buyers out there who just want to get it done. They don't want to reach out and wait. You can always give the option of both if you have a booking page. So you could say you can book online right now, or if you feel like you need more information, and I would even say, here's my fact page, or you can contact me. The contact me can be the least option because the impulse people are going to be looking for how to book you right now. And the people who need information are going to be looking for how to contact you anyway. Those are slower buyers. So you don't need to worry about them having to search a little bit for the contact form because they're already going to do it. If you want to snag the impulse people, you have to have the tools there so they can easily do it. Okay, so on the web, there's an interesting thing going on where there is a old-timey actress lady who died in 1993, but has like insane domain authority over this name, Myrna Joy. So it's hard to compete with her, because even when you say Myrna Loy Photos or Myrna Loy Photography, which is your business name, a lot of what pulls up is photos of this old-timey lady who is an actress and I think fairly famous. So you do show up when I search on the side, on the business there, and your Google business profile looks really good. For a Las Vegas family photographer, when I search that, I don't see you. So you do have effort that you could put into SEO if you want to get more eyes in that arena. On Pinterest, it's all old-timey Myrna. She has a legacy. She is all over Pinterest. I think she's maybe some sort of icon. I've never heard of her. The search for Las Vegas family photography, or photographer, I don't see you, but I saw all the same high-ranking ladies that I saw on Google. So that's where Pinterest and Google are so similar, because usually the people that pull up high on Google are going to pull up high on Pinterest. So if you want more secure eyes that you own, so like you don't own Pinterest, but you do own the fact that Pinterest is much more likely to link back to your website than Instagram is, for example. So you could start building out a blogging strategy and then share that on social media and Pinterest as well. And if you're not sure where to start with a strategy like that, you could start with the reels that you've already made. You already know how to be so helpful. You're already a great storyteller. So you have it right there at your fingertips. It's just that content is missing for Google and Pinterest to actually comb through and pull. So blog posts and Pinterest both also love short form video. So I feel like you are underutilizing the short form video that you've made, because it's really helpful. It's very on brand. Any potential client is going to love to view it, which means they're going to love to view it on your website, and they'd also love to see it on Pinterest. So other marketing opportunities that I'm not sure about, email marketing, like we said, we want to really look at the data of that email pop-up in terms of getting people on the list who are potential clients. I feel like Las Vegas is a cool enough place that you could create a helpful email series for potential clients that kind of have an overall theme of Las Vegas locations, Las Vegas seasons, Las Vegas styling. Like if I was going to Las Vegas, and I don't know if you get a lot of tourists, I wouldn't know what to wear or where we would be going. So there's definitely an educational need there that you could create via your email list to draw people in. And I'm going to suggest for every single person to find one in-person local marketing opportunity at least once a quarter. So I'm sure Las Vegas has a ton of businesses, and I'm sure there's networking events, and I'm sure there's ways that you could put yourself out there in person. I just think it's really important going into 2024 and beyond that your business is in front of actual human eyes face to face as much as possible. And if as much as possible right now means once a quarter, then I think that is perfect. So overall, I really think that this photographer has a wonderful foundation, and they're doing pretty much everything right in terms of marketing. The only piece that's missing is that domain authority, which is tricky because they have this actress who also shares the same name, which doesn't mean that it is necessarily going to hurt them, but it does add an extra element in there, and it is something to consider when people are searching for her business. So you may just want to increase your domain authority by blogging and putting more information out there, and I bet you could start to compete with rest in peace, Myrna, who died in 1993. Okay, so I hope that one was helpful. Next, we are moving on to Mountain Laurel Photo. She's based out of Portland, Oregon. So she says that her ideal session is a cozy in-home newborn session where the parents are really affectionate and cuddly with each other, the baby, and any other kids. I want the family to play together, get comfy, relax, enjoy their kids, and I want the kids to have the space and time to get comfortable enough to let their guard down so I can capture their real personalities. I want to move around them, documenting the feeling of a warm, cozy weekend morning at home rather than directing and posing every moment. I would also really like to document breastfeeding in a relaxed and comfortable way. So again, if you are a person who is a storyteller, which most of us are visually, you can already in your head think of ways that you can take this ideal session paragraph and start creating content from it. You can start thinking of ways that you could turn the people who you don't want off. So right away, if you can create the right content, the pose people, they're out. They're not interested. The people who are really interested in having almost a documentary feel to this are going to be tuned in if you create the right content. So going back to the Instagram scroll, we're doing the three pull scroll. Wow, I just made that up, so I'll keep that. At the top, again, the search terms are good. The bio is a little bit, it definitely clarifies things, but it could be more, like I was so drawn into this paragraph of the ideal session. So the Instagram, that very valuable real estate at the top, could definitely have pieces of this ideal session paragraph in it, more about how she helps her clients obtain this particular result. The highlights here seem outdated. I would just either not keep them, or if you are going to keep them, redo them, because again, it could be really helpful. So you could take what you have in this ideal session paragraph, break it down into content, and then keep it right there in the Instagram highlight. Because we have to remember again that people are trying to build trust as fast as possible with the art that they just fell in love with when they discovered your brand. And the grouping of informational and educational posts up there in a highlight is super helpful. Pin posts are not utilized on this account as well, and I think they could be very valuable, even again if we just go simple with an About Me pin post and a 2024 offerings post, just because on the consumer side, it's nice to gather helpful information into buckets. So I would try to get rid of spam comments. I noticed a few, and I know it's so annoying that they're on there, but if you can just get rid of them, just because from a client side, you don't want anything that could potentially break trust. Do I think it's a trust breaker? No, but just get rid of those. You can also go into your settings and you can block certain words and characters. One of the good ones to block is the $sign, because that's often used when they try to make the word not a word. So you go into settings. I think you have to do it on Facebook, but like I haven't blocked, because I don't know if you guys get all of those messages on Facebook saying like your page is hacked. So there are certain words I've blocked, and I get way fewer of those types of annoying spammy things. So I think it's worthwhile if either you commit to doing that and blocking words, or you just commit to going through and erasing them. So the second post is about when to schedule a shoot. It's like a really, really lovely caption. So how can we overutilize these lovely words? It's a good use of keywords on the post. The next post is a highlight of a client fear. Again, that is so valuable, but it needs more visibility. So how can we make it more seen, right? It could be a highlight about client worries, client fears. You could do a whole reel, a voiceover reel about client fears. And then you could save that in a highlight. So this one was that kids won't participate, and she explains how she helps with that. So that is such a common fear. I feel like clients have a little core group of common fears, and if we can be proactive in showing them how we can solve them, perfect. That's again something that you could put in an About Me on your website. So you could say, many clients have told me that they fear ... Here's how I help with ... That's such a much more helpful trust building About Me than just facts about yourself. So it would be extremely helpful. Again, I'm going to go for the voiceover reel. If you have the images of the clients clearly with kids who are participating, and you're talking about how their number one fear was that the clients weren't going to participate, any potential client who's watching that reel is going to be like, oh my gosh, me too. It looks like she's going to help with this. And then we have an uptick in trust, which is what we want. So we're getting good information into easily digestible buckets. That's our goal. The links, book a session. Love that. Straight to the point. Number 2 is contact. Number 3 is website. Number 4 is VIP email list. Number 5 is gift cards. Number 6 shoots us back to Instagram. And then number 7 is review. So you might just want to go through those links and consolidate them a little bit. Again, if you want to have a booking page, that's a page on your website that it does an overview of all your sessions, what they cost, has a link to book, that could be a better turnover rate than just going straight to the booking session. So I might move your website to the top, and then when they click on the website, it goes like, I've had people do hello from Instagram pages, and it does like a really quick overview of what they're booking at in that season. And then like sending people back to IG, you might just want to get rid of that, because right under that, there's actually a Instagram button that goes back to your Instagram anyway. So just consolidating things and making sure that the eyes that you have on there are going to the most clear links. Okay, so book a session, like I said, takes me straight to online booking. The contact page goes to the contact page. The contact button goes to a contact page. So again, I would just move the website up, because I think people are more likely to go to your website than just contact you. Okay, so now we're on the website. The header image is exactly what she describes as her ideal session, which is perfect, because sometimes there is a disconnect there. Either people haven't paid a lot of attention to to their website, or when they go through the work of identifying their ideal session, it's actually not very represented on their website. So those of you listening at home, that's an initial task. You could sit down and say, my ideal session is, and write it all out, and then go on your website and see if they match. So there's an about me and a call to action at the top. Love both of those. It goes right into review with even more on-brand imagery. So far, I'm loving this homepage scroll, right? I'm building trust, building trust, building trust. The booking options here are very straightforward, but then this page just stops and my little scrolling finger has to make a choice. Does he want to scroll all the way back up, or does he want to exit out? So we don't want to give the scrolling finger this option, because people are so lazy. So we have to have links at the bottom of every single page, a call to action, somewhere else to go. It's super important that we don't take our lives into the hands of this little finger that could easily just leave our website, as opposed to scrolling all the way back up. So the first place I'm going, along with the majority of people who land on a site like this, is the about me. It is good, but I would add more imagery here. This is a love page. This is a fall in love with me page. This is a build trust page. I love the call to action at the bottom. Again, that's so important. The pricing is very, very easy and clear, and there's the option to book online right then if I wanted to. People often think that these types of buyers are not out there, and I will tell you that the majority of buyers are that way. They want to get it done. We're all busy people. We love the thing. We built trust with the thing. Like, think about when you last bought like a sweatshirt or a purse you loved. How annoying would it be if you fell in love with a thing, you're like, that's exactly what I want, and then they're like, for information about this sweatshirt, please email me. And then in 48 to 72 hours, I'll email you back. You'd be like, okay, I'll find it somewhere else. There are buyers like that. Is everyone like that? No. But there are buyers like that. So if you want to capture them, that's an easy way to do it. Just have online booking be available. At the top of the menu of this page, there's a word images, and that's confusing to me a little bit. So I would just change that word maybe to portfolio or recent sessions, just because images, initially I was like, oh, maybe this is where you buy images. So I would just switch that particular word up, because that page itself is extremely valuable. You're able to do something that someone building trust with a brand really wants to do, which is just scroll through a whole bunch of on-brand images, which is what this images page is. So scrolling through tons of images with a call to action at the bottom is basically like what you do on Instagram, but it's more in person. It's more centered on the focus of this business. The what to expect page is super helpful. Again, you could take these down. You could break these down, these what to expect sections that are broken out here, and create content for other platforms. The thing is that we are all sitting on literal Everest amounts of content that we're underutilizing. Overall, the website, again, is on brand. I get to know Laurel. Her work is consistent and trustworthy, and I would have no hesitations booking online. To SEO. Seattle newborn photographer and Seattle family photographer. I don't see this business, so there's effort that could be put into SEO. SEO is slow, so it's good to just make a point to do like a blog, whatever you can commit to, a blog every 2 weeks, a blog a month. Just get going with SEO and it will never hurt you. It'll always help you. So it's important to put effort there, especially just because we don't own these social media companies. And so having good SEO is a great way to just get a few more eyes on your page a year. Okay, so one thing I want to do that's a side note for everyone here, when it goes back to Instagram search terms, so like in mine, it's like Fiona Margot, Seattle family photographer. On the first page of Portland family photographer, an Instagram page is there. It links to a local photographer because she has those keywords in her bio. So that's how powerful it is. Her Instagram page is pulling up higher than people who have done SEO for that word on their blog. So don't underestimate Instagram SEO. Okay, so the other thing that I found interesting for Portland is that Reddit boards are pulling up. So people have said they've asked for recs and those Reddit boards are pulling up. So it might be worthwhile to just add your name to those. There's nothing wrong with doing that unless in the post specifically it says like no self-promotion. And in that case, it might be worthwhile to have a friend or family member recommend you there because those boards are pulling up really high on SEO and they're going to be 1000% overlooked by everybody else. Over to Pinterest, definitely room to grow here. There's one photographer who has a major majority here in the search results, which to me means that there's room for other photographers to enter the search criteria. So add in some blogs. You already have great captions. You're already writing. That's the thing. It's so easy to write one Instagram caption can be copied over and made into a blog post. But sometimes we overcomplicate it in our heads when it doesn't have to be. So again, my little push for everyone is going to be to find an in-person event or host an in-person event for your business. So this could be, for this particular business, a mom-to-be coffee chat hosted by Laurel with special guest Lisa, the pediatrician. Like that is so, does it take work to set up? Yes. But if you did that like moms-to-be who are potential clients coming to an event hosted by your business with other educational opportunities, what is more worthwhile of your time? 27,000 Instagram posts or that event? Those are the types of mindset switches that I want you guys to start thinking about. So just pick a local coffee shop, pick a pediatrician or a doula or a lactation consultant or a sleep expert or whatever, and just try it out. And if you fail, that's okay. You can always try again, but partnering with someone is going to make it way easier. Sorry, turning the page. So this is all I have time to do for this particular episode. I'm going to do one more this week and then possibly one more next week. So both of these brands could do well with a seasonal marketing strategy. It's so helpful to know exactly what you are booking at this time. And on the client side, it's also really helpful to know what you are booking. So what I see missing from both of these beautiful portfolios, websites, and Instagram accounts is just a little bit of sales copy, a little bit of nudging, a little bit of scarcity, just some sort of sales strategy that's going on in the background. So it's like the client comes, they fall in love. There's an extra nudge there for them to get on the calendar because it's like, here's what I'm booking. This is what I have available. You can then, as the photographer, once you have that strategy written out, it's so much easier to work backwards from that strategy to know what your strategy is, how many times you have to talk about it, how you're going to try to fill those sessions. So for example, going back to the idea of Laurel hosting an event in her business name, that could be tied to a seasonal goal of hers to get 10 newborn session clients that summer. So it's all about matching a marketing strategy to your individual goals. So all of these marketing reviews are sponsored by my marketing mastermind that starts in January. So if you want to be in with a group of photographers who are doing this work with me giving you one-on-one help, that is the place to be. So I will be back with more of these on Thursday, and they're super fun for me. I could literally do them all day. But I have a newborn session that I have to prepare for. So I will talk to you guys in 2 days.